When we think about the inventions that shaped our modern world, we usually think of things like electricity, the internet, or the airplane. But long before all that, during the golden age of Islam, scholars were busy laying down the foundations of science, technology, and even some of our daily habits. From the math we use in our classrooms, to the computers we use for work, to the cups of coffee that we drink every morning, their inventions shape the lives we live today. So let's dive into just a few of these Islamic inventions to learn and appreciate the change they brought to our world.
रोशनी का सफर आओ करते रहे रोशनी का सफर यूं ही जारी रहे बंदगी का सफर यूं ही जारी रहे बंदगी का सफर.
Number 1. Algebra. Algebra is the branch of mathematics that uses symbols to represent values in order to easily manipulate and solve equations. Previously, mathematical problems were expressed in words, plain numbers, and their solutions were tied to pictures, wordy explanations, and so there wasn't a generalized, systematic language for solving these problems. Now say hello to the 9th century Islamic scholar Al-Khwarizmi, known as the father of algebra, who introduced a symbolic system of expressing equations, thereby making mathematics more abstract and universal. The term algebra itself comes from his book titled Al-Jabr, and now algebra has become the universal language of science, technology, finance, computers, which we'll get into later, and much more. Every single scientific and mathematical law is expressed using algebra, like Einstein's E equals mc squared, or Newton's second law of motion, force equals mass times acceleration, the quadratic equation, and much, much more. Number 2. Algorithms. Speaking of the language of computation, we now come to our second Islamic invention, again by Al-Khwarizmi, the algorithm. The term algorithm actually comes from his own name, algorithmi being the Latinized form of Al-Khwarizmi. Historically, another obstacle in math was that problems used to be solved on a case-to-case basis with no generalized principle for solving a range of equations. The Greeks used to use specific examples of geometry, the Babylonians used to use tables of squares and reciprocals, and so on. But lo and behold, Al-Khwarizmi introduces the algorithm, a finite sequence of mathematical instructions that provided a generalized, systematic approach to solving problems. Algorithms are the fundamental building blocks to the mechanics of computers, allowing computers to process a range of tasks using a generalized set of instructions. And this is why Al-Khwarizmi is known as the father of computer science. Number 3. Coffee. Yes, the beverage that we all drink, sometimes multiple times to fuel our day, the world's most consumed beverage after water, coffee. The term itself originates from the Arabic qahwa and finds its roots in the Islamic world in the 15th century when it became popular amongst the Sufis of Yemen, keeping them up at night for long durations of prayer. By the 16th century, public coffee houses appeared in Mecca, Cairo, and Istanbul. Unlike alcohol, which relaxes the mind and dulls the senses, coffee sharpens and energizes the mind. And as such, in 17th century Europe, coffee houses became hubs for intellectual debate and scholarly discussion. So much so that they became nicknamed as penny universities, where for the price of 1 cup of coffee, anyone could join and engage in a lively intellectual discussion. Many of today's newspapers, stock exchanges like the London Stock Exchange, and even some insurance companies began in these buzzing coffee houses. And today, coffee stands second to oil as the world's most traded commodity. Number 4. Hospitals. Long before Islam, healing centers existed in Greece, Rome, China, and India. But they were primarily temples, military clinics, or monastery-based care, limited, spiritual, or exclusive. But in the 8th to 10th centuries, the Muslims transformed healthcare with the Bimaristan, the first true hospitals. These were open to all, funded by charity and had organized wards for treating separate conditions and diseases. These hospitals included pharmacies, kept patient records, treated mental health, and even doubled as teaching hospitals where future doctors were trained and licensed. Famous examples like Baghdad's Al-Rashid Hospital, Cairo's Al-Mansuri, or Damascus's Al-Nuri Hospital treated thousands a day with structured care. This system became the blueprint for European hospitals, eventually evolving into the public, secular, specialized hospitals that we know today. Number 5. The camera obscura. Over 1,000 years ago, Ibn al-Haytham invented the camera obscura, a simple, dark box with a tiny hole that projected a real image of the outside world. This device changed the way ancient scholars viewed optics. They thought that vision worked because the eyes emitted light that touched other objects. But with this invention, Ibn al-Haytham showed that light rays traveled to our eyes, not the other way around. Fast forward to the 1800s and you have famous inventors like Joseph Niepce, Louis Daguerre, and William Talbot, who took Ibn al-Haytham's principles and the camera obscura and added light-sensitive materials to capture the projected image permanently, thereby producing the first ever photograph in the 1800s and sharpening the technology up till now. The camera you use on your phone, or the one we're using to record this video right now, yeah, couldn't have been done without Ibn al-Haytham. So there you have it. Algebra, algorithms, coffee, hospitals, and the camera obscura. 5 fundamental inventions that changed the way we live, think, and create. So the next time you sip a cup of your coffee while solving an equation, or snap a photo with your phone, or open up your computer to watch a video like this one, you'll know exactly who to thank.
हंसाते चले अपने हिस्से की शम्मा जलाते चले